All right, let's get this party started. I was hoping that it was going to be like pouring or having some kind of rain activity or something outside. Always makes me feel better when we do a trainer session when it's ugly outside. But that's not the case tonight. That's okay though. We'll get ourselves going here. We'll make it a good workout. So what did I do tonight? I titled this one, Keeping You Guessing, because that's pretty much what it's going to do. Tonight's going to be about keeping you guessing. Every effort's going to be different. It's going to be a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Keep you on your toes. And I think the workout will probably go relatively fast as a result of that. And typically they do. They seem to go pretty fast on these Tuesday nights. One of the things that we noticed, I think it was last week, let me see if that was the week that we did we did a little time trial effort, and we did it in our in a gear that put us at like 80, 85. We're going to do a little bit of that tonight in one of our sets, because I think that's the area that we're finding that we need a little bit of work at. So we're going to go there, but we're going to do some good leg speed work to get us set up for that. Then this is actually a 2-pager. I think I need to bend this corner because I can't seem to get these pages apart. Not too much of a 2-pager, but enough to keep you honest. So that'll get us a good solid workout. And we'll manage our time. As always, we keep it to around 50 to 60 minutes. You know the drill. You have your fan, towel, and your full water bottle, making sure that you are consuming that water by the end of your ride. So I got the chance to ride on Sunday with some friends. And that was the one thing I was really trying for myself, to just keep my hydration in check. So, of course, we stopped somewhere, bought a big jug of water, filled up, got in a good 45 miles. It was gravel, and actually the gravel was pretty good. It wasn't too wet. We were out in the Bedminster area, and those of you that know that area, there's a lot of really nice dirt gravel roads out that way. It's kind of farm country there. A lot of beautiful homes in that area. So it's always nice to ride out there. And you get away from traffic too. Those of you that live in Bergen County, where I live, or a little further east, we've got a lot of traffic around here. So it's kind of nice to go west and a little south, get away from the traffic a little bit. Because it's hard to do that here. I have my regular routes, and they all seem to kind of put me right in the midst of things. The only good thing from our house is we can get to Harriman, which is always a favorite place to ride. But you do, unfortunately, have to go on a very busy road to get there. But once you get up and through that section, you're pretty much in the park. And I think, like I told you a couple of weekends ago, I went down Lake Welsh on a Sunday, and I think one car passed me, which was super great. All right, so we're going to come up to our warm-up. I know most of you guys got on early to spin your legs. That's a good thing. I like that you spend that extra time warming up a little more than I do, or when I'm with you. That extra time just makes you be more warmed up and ready to go. All right, so how's this first 5-minute warm up gonna go? And I actually wrote that on my sheet here, warm up with quotes around it, because it's gonna feel like a little more than just a warm up. So we're gonna do 1.5 minutes at 80 to 90, 85 to 90 cadence. Then you're gonna give me 30 seconds, kind of like a sprint effort. I want you to go really hard for 30 seconds. Then you're gonna go back to that 1.5 minutes. Give me another sprint. So you're gonna do 2 30-second sprints. And then we're gonna finish it up with the final minute. So here's the key, the gearing. It's gonna be a little different than we're used to. Small ring 15 is normally where we go. Today we're gonna go to your big ring around your 21. So go ahead and go there, big ring. And remember, if the 21 is too much and you can't hold the cadence, you're welcome to shift up to an easier gear. So we're looking for 85, 90 cadence, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Find it, might take you a little bit of time to settle in. You're just gonna hold this for a good 1.5 minutes. Hopefully the legs are gonna start feeling the effects of this gearing a little bit. And the cadence. You'll start to feel that heart warming up. The lungs filling up. The heart rate getting higher. The sweating process is going to start. That's good. That's what we want. I'm dead on to 90. If you're following me. Staying steady. In 15 seconds, you're going to give me 30 seconds. Higher cadence. Higher output. If you want one easier gear, you can go there. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 30 seconds. Kind of like a sprint. Working it here. Forcing yourself. Let's go a little harder. Really want to feel that burn in the legs. Three, 2, 1. Right back to that 85, 90. Another 1.5 minutes. Settle right in to exactly where you were before. You might find, though, because the legs are starting to warm up, that cadence might get a little over 90. That's good. That's what we want. Want the legs to start warming up, loosening up. Thirty more seconds. Holding on to it. Now my cadence is going just a bit over. Now 92. That's all right. Coming up to another 30. A 30 hard. Increase that cadence. Make it feel like a sprint. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Really feel the legs spin. Feel them start to burn. Now you're starting to sweat. 3, 2, 1. Right back to that 90. 1 more minute. Think about your form here. All those good metrics. Light feet. Flat feet. Light hands. Bending those elbows. Shoulders are relaxed. Ten to go. 3, 2, 1. Find that small ring. And spin it out. All right. Now you're ready to go. So we're going to start off with some cadence work and high cadence work. Fortunately, this ladder is going to go down in time, not up, because the cadence is going to get a little faster with each set. So the first one, 3 minutes, 100 to 110 is what we're looking for. Then we're going to go 2 minutes at 105 to 115. And then we're going to go 1 minute at 110 to 120. So you can see that last minute, we really want to spin these legs. So for each of these, what you're going to try to do is stay in the same gear. That's where the hard part comes. So small ring around your 19 or your 21. You can pick it. We're going to do 3 minutes at 100 to 110. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So the first thing I do when I know I'm doing a good, solid, higher cadence effort is I find myself just from the start getting my posture proper. So as soon as I find that abdominal strength and I sit up from my lower abs to my chest, that's when I can get over the top of the pedals and keep the pedals moving at this high cadence level. So I'm holding 105 just to be right in the middle of that range. And I'm really focusing on having an even pedal stroke. 1 minute down, 2 to go. So feel those things, same things happening for you. Feel relaxed. And the one thing I'm liking for myself is my cadence isn't jumping around. It's super solid, staying at 105. That's what you want to work towards. Just a reminder to you guys, it seems to be happening with mine, on one of my bikes, my cadence sensor seems to be asking for a battery kind of frequently. So I have a feeling it's starting to die. So that might be an indicator. Time to get a new one. Same thing with your speed sensor. Now know that if you're using a Garmin and you're outside, your speed is coming from the GPS. The speed sensor is really only good for when you're inside, or if you're not getting GPS. 10 seconds ago. Three, two, one. Give yourself an easy gear. Take a drink. Allow the legs to just spin around nice and easy. Find that cadence where you're not doing any work. All right, so hopefully you remember the gear that you were in. Either you were in the 19 or the 21, because this time we're going to bump that cadence up 5 RPMs. So we're looking for 2 minutes at 105 to 115. So my goal is going to be smack in the middle, just like the previous one. I'm going to go for 110. So again, find that gear. 5 seconds till we go. 3, 2, 1. And remember, our tendency sometimes is to put ourselves in an easier gear than what I'm suggesting. Sometimes having an easier gear makes it harder to hold that cadence. So pick the right gear. I'm sitting right at 110. And again, forcing myself to find that good posture. When you find that good posture, everything else falls into place. All these little cues that you pick up from these trainer sessions definitely translate to outside. 1 minute down, 1 minute to go. Feel some light feet. Use that pulling up motion. Keep the legs moving. Almost to their end of this 2 minutes. I'm at 110. And just like 105, I happily stayed right at 110. 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. Take a drink. Allow the legs to rest. So you know where we're going next. 1 minute at 110 to 120. Woo! That's where it gets hard. Hold the 120. Most people can't even touch it. You guys have been doing this a long time, so I know that you're going to do your best to get there. Same gearing, if you can make it happen, or whatever gear you've used for the previous two, I want you to try to get there for this last minute. It's only a minute. Find that gear. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 110 to 120. Focus on your body position. Use those abs to get yourself right up and over those pedals. $115. That's where I'm settling. But if I relax my abs, then that cadence is going to drop. 15 to go. Come on, all the way to the end. 3, 2, 1. Woohoo! Nice. 1 minute easy. Take another drink. Gonna need it. All right, so this next effort, 6 minutes long. It's kind of like a climbing effort. A little close to what we did last week. Every minute, we're just going to move back and forth to the effort that we do. The first minute, going to be a 60 cadence, 6-0. Then we're going to move into a minute with a gear shift to get us in that spot that we noticed we needed a little work, 80 to 85. But I want it to feel like a top of zone 3, bottom of zone 4 kind of effort. And we're just going to go back and forth from 60 to 80, 85. Now, in terms of your gearing, that 60, you're going to be somewhere around your 13, 14. You can determine which of those gears works best. And then when you go to get up to 80, 85, when the first one comes around, figure out what gear works. Then stick with that. I'm thinking somewhere around your 17 or your 19 will help you stay at that cadence. All right, so here we go. Big ring, somewhere around the 13, 14. You might even need to be in your 15. We're looking for a 60 cadence. Nice and solid. If you're hitting 65 or above, then give yourself one harder gear. It should feel a little slow. It's okay. That's what we want. We want the legs to be at a slow, kind of grinding pace, because then they have to find leg speed. And this is what's the hardest. So if you've been climbing up something and your leg speed's not so fast, then you need to pick up the pace. This is perfect to teach the body to do that. 3, 2, give it a shift. Get yourself to 80, 85. Sit right there. You might need to get a few shifts to figure out what's the right gear. Take a look back. See what gear you're in, because you're going to memorize it for the next one. And this gearing Should really be putting you right in that perfect zone. Bottom of zone 4. That's where I'm at. Six minutes total. Coming up on 2. Back down. Finding 60. Shifting to whatever gear gets you there. You might only have 2 shifts. If you're way down at 50, get to an easier gear. If you're all the way up to 70, and you don't feel like you're working, then you need to get to a harder gear. Now this is also position oriented. This, you're using your glutes and your hamstrings a little more. So keep your chest open. 3, 2, 1. Back to 80. 85. You might notice, feel a little stronger now. It's the body warming up even more. And just like those previous efforts, keep that cadence consistent. Coming up on 4 minutes down. Total of 6. Here we go. Shifting. Finding 60. Dead on. Last time at 60. Oh yeah. Starting to sweat now. Taking a drink in the middle. If you need it, it's a good place to practice reaching for that bottle. Turning my fan up. Woo! It's getting warm. Shifting up. Increasing that cadence. Last change. 80, 85. 1 minute to go. $30 seconds. Keeping it consistent. Don't slow down. All the way to the last minute. 5, 3, 2, 1. Nice easy gear. Woo! Flipping to page 2. All right. That's what I like. Moving on. Take a drink, towel off. Tonight for sure. Hopefully you have that recovery mechanism in place. We need to use those recovery sources. They might not seem to matter, but they really do. When you start to use them, you'll notice a difference. All right. So this next effort, we're doing this 2 times, just to keep you honest. The nice part is you're going to get 2 minutes of rest in between. So you're going to get plenty of recovery time to get you going. So it's going to go like this. 15 seconds of a sprint out of the saddle. Kind of like if somebody was attacking and you wanted to get on their wheel. Then you're going to settle in. I want you somewhere the same, bottom of zone 4. But I'm going to give you a huge range of cadence. 85 to 100. But you guys know the sweet spot. If you can hold 90 and hold a bottom of zone 4 type effort, that's what we're looking for 3.5 minutes. Then that last 15 seconds, we're going to go again, all out of the saddle, as if you're sprinting for the line. So that is a 4-minute effort. We're going to do 2 of those with 2 minutes in between. So gearing. Interesting gearing for this one. All small ring. To start off, we're going to do small ring 15. Go ahead and find it. Now know that this gear for sprinting or getting out of the saddle might be a little light, but it's going to give you some good leg speed. So here we go. In your drops if you wish, in your hoods if you prefer. 3, 2, 1, 15 seconds. Let's go. Got to chase down that guy or girl. Get the legs going. Should have fast leg speed. 3, 2, 1. Shifting up. Whatever gears get you to 90. We're going to hold this for 3.5. So settle in. Find whatever mantra you need to keep you in the game. So you guys know that Randy's been on the trail. And it's kind of funny what's happening. He has with him an old iTouch, or I don't even know what to call it. It's super old. He's taking pictures with it. Well, it's actually mine from years ago. And it's linked to my phone. So anytime he's taking pictures and he's somewhere where there's an internet connection, those pictures are popping up on my phone. So it's cool because I'm getting to make up my own stories about what he's doing. Since, as I told you, he doesn't carry a phone. He doesn't have one with him. And I've gotten a few texts from the guy he's with. But we haven't spoken since he left. A lot of people find that kind of strange in this day and age. But when Randy did the trail in 2002, he didn't have a cell phone then either. So I would just, whenever he called, it was awesome. So this is the same thing. It's fine with me. I'm sure for some other people it wouldn't be so great. But one day, probably without his knowing, this iTouch was bouncing around in his pack, and it was taking random pictures of the inside of his pack. So I deleted all those. He's probably wondering where some of those pictures went, if he had looked at them. We're almost there. As always, I know you like when I tell a story. Keeps you focused. 15 more seconds. Then you're going to give me that 15-second all-out sprint. You can shift to a harder gear or stay where you are. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Out of the saddle. Sprint to the finish. Three, 2, 1. Woo! Now that got the heart going. Nice and easy. Take a drink. Two-minute spin. Woo! It is definitely warm. Just think how crazy it was that last summer we did these trainer sessions through the heat of the summer. Of course, by then, we all had our air conditioning on. Maybe some of you already do. I did a session with somebody on Monday, and he said to me, "Oh yeah, I'm turning on the AC this week." He probably started looking at the temperatures. So you're going to get one more minute to spin this out. Then we're going to do that again. So I hope you remembered what gears you were in, because we're going to do the same 15-second sprint, 3.5 at 85 to 100, somewhere around your zone 4, and a 15-second sprint to the finish. So these efforts are good for things like when your legs are really dead, when you've climbed, and you get to the top, and you feel like you have nothing. But if you just get out of the saddle and push that gear up and over the top, then it's not going to be so bad. All right, so find that small ring, back down to your 15. Let's start there, just like we did last time. 3, 2, 1, out of the saddle. Let's get it started. Sprinting for it. Got to get away from the group. Want to be on your own. 3, 2, sitting down. Give yourself a little easier gear. Find that cadence. Put it right in that upper zone 3, lower zone 4. Force yourself. Keep the legs moving. Just like those previous efforts, try to keep that cadence nice and steady. So I don't know if I told you guys, but I think I've mentioned her in the past. My niece, Adrienne, who is Marlon's sister. She's been going through an accelerated nursing program. So they cram, I don't know, 2 years into 9 months. So she has completed the program. She's officially a graduate as of June the 11th. And on June the 23rd, I think, she takes her nursing exam. And then she will officially be a nurse. My sister keeps saying to me, I just can't believe this. She's like, I never in my wildest dreams imagined that I have a daughter as a nurse and a son living in New York City. That's probably the last place I would have imagined him to go. But it's super cool that both of these guys have had such great success. And I won't go into their history, but they've had a single mom. And she's done a great job. All right. You have 3 minutes down. 45 seconds to go to that last sprint. Stay consistent all the way through this. Let yourself just breathe naturally. Decide if you need to shift. 3, 2, let's go. Last 15 seconds. Sprint to the line. 3, 2, 1. Woo-wee. Spin that out. Take a drink. Towel off. Everything's sweaty. So one thing to remember about your bike, being on the trainer, your top tube, if you're somebody that sweats a lot, make sure you're wiping that down. Use just a really soft kind of soap and water. Don't use anything abrasive like a Fantastic or one of those is just way too much. Literally, if you just use dish soap and some warm water, or Simple Green, as I've suggested in the past, and make sure you're wiping that top tube, all the tubes that may get the sweat on them, your stem, your steerer column, and your bars. So all that sweat definitely can corrode the frame and any of the pieces. The other piece that's nice, if you want to do this eventually, is put some new bar tape on. Because we sweat so badly on this bar tape, it gets pretty bad and pretty ugly. All right, so we're going to do one set of this, and then we're going to be done for the night. We're going to do a set of 8 30-second, actually, let's make it 6 30-second acceleration efforts. So they're going to go, you're going to start at 100, 110, 120, then you're going to get 30 seconds at 90. We want to spin the legs out now from those 2 previous efforts, because we did a lot of low cadence stuff. So I want you to pick a gear, small ring. You pick the gear maybe around your 21 that you can get to each one of these as the cadence starts to increase. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're looking for 100. Hold it there. 110. Get your posture right. 120. If you want to shift for that 120, you can do that. Back to 90. Just let the legs spin out. Woo! That feels good, just one of those. Just keep them spinning nice and relaxed. Then the best part is I want you to listen to what your leg speed sounds like when you get to those cadences. Here we go. 3, 2, 100. Don't bust out of the gate. Control it. 110. 120. Back to 90. So if you notice, I said control it. So this is another thing that we all need to work on, is controlling our efforts. Making sure you're not going out too hard at the beginning of a ride or a workout or an effort. Back to 100. Control. 110. $120. Back to 90. So that first 100, when you're going from 90 to 100, you feel like you have to go a little harder than you really have to. It's not that hard to get 10 RPMs. Here we go, dead on to 100. 3, 2, let's go. There it is. Nice control on that one. 110. I see you guys getting tall in your torso. 120. Light legs. Back to 90. We're going to do one more of these. Make it 5 instead of 6. So we have a little bit of time to cool down. All right, 100. Come on, get dead onto it. Control. 110. Feel your feet be light. Last time, 120. Three, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Pick an easy gear. Let's spin it out for a few. Woo! I like when we finish fast. So just in case any of you ladies on the call, if you haven't seen it, the Thursday night rides out of Summit, HB Summit, are starting this Thursday. Fortunately, it's going to be a nice day. So there's a variety of different distances, ability levels. So if you're interested in any of those, jump in, because it'll be probably decent groups, I would think, because everybody's itching to get out. So right now, get in a small ring. Just find that super easy gear. Let's just spin these legs. Let us cool down. Also, this weekend is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all those mothers on the call. I make this sound like it's a radio show or something. You know, that's what I was supposed to be in life. Broadcast television production, mass communications, graduate of the University of Charleston. So I can turn on my radio voice. I don't know if I ever mentioned to you guys, I had a video or a tape, a cassette tape of all things, of my first radio show, which was at in Charleston, there was a radio station that was like radio for the blind. And they would provide the listeners with information that they may not be able to get themselves due to their blindness. So we would do things like read the newspaper, have various programs about various things. So when I got my internship at this place, of course, they recorded my first show, which was, I believe, reading the newspaper. And in Charleston, West Virginia, there is a river that's spelled Kanawha. Well, of course, I'm not from Charleston, West Virginia. I have no idea how you're supposed to say that. So I'm reading the paper and I said, the Kanawha River. And the producer came to me afterwards and said, where are you from? It's the Kanawha River. So, of course, that was my lesson for the day, is it's the Kanawha River in Charleston, West Virginia. But I have to admit, you can hear like a little southern drawl in my voice on the tape. It's pretty funny to listen to. So that was my senior year, so I must have picked up a little bit of that while I was there. But I would definitely not say y'all. My roommate, who was from, what town was she from? Beacon, something, I can't remember. Oh my God, my freshman year, I used to look at her and go, what did you just say? I couldn't understand her. She was so West Virginia. She was from the sticks. I had no idea what she was saying to me sometimes. But the coolest thing about her, Shelly Ritchie, she played on the softball team with me. When she was 3 years old, she was standing on the back of her brother's tricycle. You know, the little ones that had the platform in the back. And she fell off, and her thumb got cut off in the back wheel when she was a child. She was an outfielder. She was right-handed, and she didn't have a thumb. And she could throw the ball from the middle of center field almost to the mound, if not to home plate. But sometimes she'd go to throw it, and of course you need your thumb. The ball would just drop behind her because obviously she didn't have control of the ball. But it was amazing that she could throw a ball without a thumb. It was pretty cool. All right, peoples. that is our workout for tonight. Great job as always. Woo!